Hello, my name is Isabella, and I am the maid who broke a prince's heart without even trying. I work in the royal house. Not the big shiny part you see on news. The back part. The part where floors need scrubbing, candles need replacing, and royal clothes smell like sweat just like everyone else's. I wake up at 4 in the morning. 4. That is not a flex. That is pain. My back hurts. My hands are rough from soap. I have calluses that could file down a wooden chair. And every morning, I put on the same gray dress. Not pretty gray. Sad gray. The color of old dishwater. I am not special. I am not beautiful like the noble girls who visit the palace with their silk fans and fake laughs. I have a round face from too much bread. Hair that does not curl nicely. It just exists. So when I say the prince became obsessed with me, I need you to understand how crazy that sounds. Like a fish becoming obsessed with a bicycle. The first time I saw her, yes, her. The prince is a woman. Princess Alessia. But everyone calls her prince because her father wanted a son and got her instead. She kept the title. She is tall. Sharp cheekbones. Eyes the color of cold coffee. And she never smiles. I mean never. Servants have bets about it. Cook says she saw her smile once in 2019. I think Cook is lying. Anyway, the first time she noticed me was a mistake. A real, stupid, clumsy mistake. I was cleaning her private library. Not the big library for guests. The small one. The messy one. Books on the floor. Old maps. A half-eaten apple on a poetry book. Who does that? A prince who thinks rules do not apply to her, that's who. I was on my knees, scrubbing a wine stain from the carpet. Red wine. Expensive. Probably older than me. And she walked in. I did not hear her. These royal carpets are thick. They eat footsteps. So I was there on all fours, scrubbing like a desperate woman, muttering to myself. I was saying something like, why would anyone spill wine on a carpet that costs more than my whole family's house? Why? And then a voice said, because I was sad. I froze. I turned my head slowly, like a criminal caught stealing bread. She was standing 3 feet away. No crown. No fancy coat. Just a black shirt and pants. Bare feet. Her hair was down, messy, like she had just woken up from a bad dream. My first thought was, she is prettier up close. Annoying. My second thought was, I am going to lose my job. I stood up too fast. My knee made a cracking sound. Loud. Like a gunshot in that quiet room. She did not laugh. But her eyebrow moved. Just a little. I opened my mouth. Nothing came out. Then I tried again. Your Highness. I am so sorry. I did not see you. I will leave. I am leaving. I am gone. You never saw me. I picked up my bucket. Soapy water splashed on my shoe. Great. Perfect. Really showing off my skills. She said, wait. I stopped. My heart was doing something weird. Not romantic weird. Panic weird. She walked closer. Not slow and dramatic. Just normal. But when you are a maid and a prince walks toward you, normal feels like an earthquake. She looked at the carpet. Then at me. Then at the carpet again. You scrubbed that stain for 10 minutes, she said. I watched you from the door. What? No. No. How long was she standing there? She continued, you called the wine overpriced grape poison. You said my poetry collection is depressing and dusty. And you told yourself that if you were a prince, you would at least use a coaster. I wanted to die. Right there. Open the floor. Swallow me. Thank you. But she did not look angry. She looked interested. Like I was a bug she had never seen before. What is your name? She asked. Isabella. Isabella, she repeated. Like she was tasting the word. You talk to yourself a lot. Only when I am nervous, I said. And I am always nervous here. She almost smiled. Almost. The corner of her lip moved 1 millimeter. I am not exaggerating. I have good eyes from threading needles for torn curtains. Then she said something I did not understand at that time. Good. Stay nervous. That means you are real. She left. Bare feet on the cold floor. No sound. I stood there for 5 minutes. Then I finished cleaning. Then I went to the servants' kitchen and drank cheap tea and told no one what happened. Because if other maids found out the prince talked to me, they would ask questions. And I had no answers. But that was only the first time. The second time was a week later. I was in the laundry room, ironing a dress. Not her dress. Some guest's dress. Silk. Hated silk. Silk does not forgive mistakes. One wrong move and you burn a hole worth 3 months of your salary. I was focused. Sweating. The iron was heavy. Then I felt it. That weird feeling. Like someone was watching. I looked up. She was standing in the doorway of the laundry room. The laundry room. A place no royal has entered in 50 years. It smells like wet fabric and old soap. There is a permanent stain on the ceiling from a pipe that leaks. And there she was. Prince Alessia. In the doorway. Looking around like she had discovered a new country. I dropped the iron. Not on the dress. On my foot. I yelped. A real dog-like yelp. Embarrassing. Your Highness. I said. You cannot be here. This is not a room for you. This is a room for poor people and steam. She stepped inside anyway. Her shoes were not made for this floor. Expensive leather on dirty stone. She said, I wanted to see where you work. Why? She thought for a moment. Because you said my wine was overpriced grape poison. No one has ever told me the truth before. I stared at her. With respect, Your Highness, there are a lot of people who can tell you the truth. You just do not ask them. She leaned against a washing machine. A washing machine. A prince leaning on dirty laundry machines. Tell me something true right now, she said. I looked around. The other maids had frozen. They were holding their breaths. I could feel their eyes on my back. I said, your shirt has a small tear near the left sleeve. And your hair has a leaf in it. You look like you climbed a tree this morning. She blinked. Then she reached up. Yes, a small green leaf. From the garden. She looked at the leaf. Then at me. Then she laughed. Not a small royal laugh. A real one. Loud. Short. Like a bark. I did not know she could laugh. I did not know princes were allowed to laugh. She said, you are strange, Isabella. I am a maid, Your Highness. Strange is free. Elegance costs money. She laughed again. Then she left. Same as before. No goodbye. No explanation. The other maids attacked me with questions the second she was gone. What did she want? Why is she looking at you? Are you in trouble? I said, I have no idea. And that was the truth. The third time, I started to get scared. Not scared of her. Scared of how I felt. Because she found me in the garden, behind the rose bushes, eating a stolen apple. Yes, stolen. From the royal kitchen. I was hiding like a rat. Chewing fast. Juice on my chin. She sat down next to me. On the dirt. In her white pants. I said, Your Highness. The dirt. Your pants. She said, they will wash. I stopped chewing. Why are you here? Why do you keep finding me? There are 300 people in this palace. Go find them. She took an apple from her pocket. A red one. She bit into it. Chewed. Swallowed. Then she said something that changed everything. Because you do not want anything from me. I opened my mouth. Closed it. She continued. Everyone wants something. My time. My money. My name. My power. Even my mother wants me to marry someone rich. But you? You want me to leave so you can eat your stolen apple in peace. I said, that is true. I really want to eat this apple. She smiled. A real smile. Small, but real. And my heart did something. A little jump. A small stupid jump. I told myself, no. Stop. She is a prince. You're a maid. This is not a story. This is real life. In real life, the maid gets fired. Or worse, she gets feelings. And then she gets broken. So I finished my apple, stood up, brushed off my gray dress. I said, Your Highness, I am flattered. But I clean floors. You rule a country. We are not the same. This is not a fairy tale. In fairy tales, the maid is pretty. I look like a potato. She stood up too. She was taller than me. By a lot. She said, potatoes are honest. I like potatoes. And then she walked away. Again. I stood there for a long time. The sun was setting. The garden smelled like flowers and danger. I touched my chest. My heart was still jumping. I said to myself, out loud, Isabella, you are an idiot. Do not fall in love with a prince. That is not a love story. That is a job resignation. But my heart did not listen. 2 months passed. 2 months of her finding me everywhere. The kitchen at midnight. The library at dawn. The hallway near the servant stairs. The stable while I was brushing a horse. She did not talk about love. She did not say pretty words. She just stayed. One night, I was crying. Not because of her. Because of a letter from home. My mother was sick. The doctor cost money. I sent all my salary every month. There was never enough. I was sitting on the floor of an empty guest room, crying into my hands. Quiet crying. The kind where you do not want anyone to hear. But she heard. She sat down next to me. No words. She just sat there. I cried for 10 more minutes. She waited. Then I said, why are you here? Go away. This is ugly. She said, ugly is real. I like real. I laughed. A wet, sad laugh. You keep saying that. Real is painful. I know, she said. I have been in pain for years. That is why I hide in my library. That is why I do not smile. Everyone thinks I am cold, but I am just tired. I looked at her. For the first time, I did not see a prince. I saw a girl. A lonely girl. A girl with a father who wanted a son. A mother who wanted a rich son-in-law. A country that wanted a perfect princess. She was not perfect. She was a mess. A beautiful, broken, tired mess. And I loved her. I did not say it. I could not say it. But I felt it. Right there. In that empty guest room. On that cold floor. She took my hand. Her fingers were long. Cold. But soft. She said, Isabella, I do not know what this is. But I do not want to stop it. I squeezed her hand. Then I let go. I said, we have to be careful. If someone sees us, I lose my job. You lose your reputation. We both lose. She nodded. Then we will be careful. We were not careful. Not really. Because careful people do not look at each other the way we looked. Careful people do not find excuses to touch hands when handing over tea. Careful people do not leave small notes inside book pages. But we did. She wrote, potatoes are still honest. So are you. I wrote back on a napkin. Princes are not supposed to write on napkins. She wrote, then arrest me. I smiled for 3 days. The other maids asked if I was sick. The trouble started on a Tuesday. The queen, her mother, announced a ball. A big one. Princes and princesses from other countries. Rich families. Old money. The goal was clear. Find a husband for Alessia. I was assigned to help prepare the ballroom. Polish the floor. Arrange the flowers. Small work. Invisible work. The night of the ball, I stayed in the back, near the kitchen door. I could see everything from there. The chandeliers. The gold plates. The women in bright dresses. The men in tight suits. And Alessia, in a deep blue dress. Diamonds on her neck. Her hair up. She looked like a painting. A sad painting. She danced with 3 different men that night. Each one richer than the last. Each one more boring. I watched her face. She smiled. But not her real smile. The royal smile. The one that says, I am polite, but I would rather be anywhere else. At midnight, I went to the garden. I needed air. I needed to stop watching her with other people. I sat on the cold stone bench. The roses smelled too sweet. It made my stomach hurt. Then I heard footsteps. She sat next to me, still in the blue dress, still with diamonds. You are not supposed to be here, I said. There are 100 guests inside. They can wait, she said. No, they cannot. Your mother is looking for you. She sighed. My mother wants me to marry Lord William. He has a big estate and a small brain. I laughed. That is mean. It is true, she said. He asked me if I like horses. I told him I have read every philosophy book in 3 languages. He said, that is nice. Do you like horses? We both laughed. Quiet laughs. The kind that hurts your ribs. Then she turned to me. Her face changed. The laughter left. She said, "Isabella, I do not want to dance with anyone else tonight." My heart stopped. Then it ran. Then it stopped again. I said, "Alessia, stop." "No," she said. "I have stopped for 2 months. I have been careful. I have been quiet. But I am tired of being careful." She took both my hands. Her hands were warm now, not cold like before. She said, "I am obsessed with you. And I do not know why. You are not trying to impress me. You do not care about my title. You tell me when I have a leaf in my hair. You call my wine overpriced poison. You are the only person in the world who makes me feel like a human being." Tears were in my eyes. I hate tears. They are traitors. I said, "I am a maid. I clean other people's messes. I have soap under my nails. My shoes have holes. I am nothing." She lifted my hand. She looked at my rough fingers, my broken nails, my calluses. She kissed my palm. A prince kissed a maid's calloused palm. She said, "You are not nothing. You are everything. And I do not care about the rest." I wanted to believe her. I really did. But I have lived too long in the real world. I pulled my hands away. I stood up. I said, "You will marry Lord William or someone like him. You will have children. You will rule. And I will clean someone else's floor. That is how the world works. I am sorry. I am so sorry. But I cannot be your secret forever. Secrets break people." I walked away. She did not follow. The next morning, I requested a transfer to the palace in the north. Far away, cold, no princes, no blue dresses, no kisses on palms. The request was approved in 3 hours. Royal staff moves fast when they want to hide a problem. I packed one small bag, gray dresses, soap, a letter from my mother. That was it. I did not say goodbye to her, but I left a napkin on her library desk. It said, "You are not a problem. You are the best thing that ever happened to me. But I am not a princess. I am a potato. And potatoes belong in the ground, not in palaces. Be happy, please, Isabella." Then I walked out. The morning was gray. The air was cold. The carriage waited. I climbed in. I did not look back, but I cried. For the whole ride, hours and hours, the driver pretended not to notice. That was 3 years ago.